are three types or trends that we watch, and then I'm going to hand it over to my precious husband and let him take you through it. We watch pending sales. We watch days on market. We watch price reductions. And let me tell you why we do this. This is your crystal ball. Pending sales become closings, right? So I can tell you if next month's number of sales are going to be higher or lower than this month's based on what the pendings are, because it goes from active to pending to closed. So watch those pending sales. 2, days on market. The higher the days on market, that seller's sitting there at month 4 going, maybe I should lower my price. Now, also, you should have had that conversation, but that's a different conversation altogether. Days on market is an indicator of future price reductions, right? The more days on market, the more likely they're going to reduce their price. And then price reductions, once they happen, they are more closely tied to sales price, right? So if I reduce my price, I'm probably not going to get more than what I've reduced it to. Maybe, but probably not. So your price reductions are your indication of where the market is headed. All right, with that, I'm going to hand it over to you.
What I'm going to show you and go through is one of our best tips that we picked up from that entire mastermind group over the last year, and how you can apply it any given day to any buyer or listing presentation. And again, this is right off our website. Anybody is welcome to this. This is daily data that is updated every single day, and is right at the top, the trends page. So everything I'm about to show you, you can pull up on your cell phone, you can pull up on your iPad, and you're welcome to go through and borrow, because we heard it from the top teams in the country on how to be able to compete in this market. Because the problem that we're all trying to solve, and I'm sure you all are solving it the same way, is that in a shifting market, clients are interviewing more agents than they ever have before in the last 3 years. So before, you'd be like, oh, right, my niece is a realtor. I'm the niece, I got the deal. You know, I talked to this person. Well, of course, I'm going to hire you because you can't get any other realtor on the phone because they're all so busy. Now, we've seen that more people are interviewing agents before they make a decision. That I think the official number is up like 60%, but it's a huge amount. And so the question is how are you able to differentiate yourself over whoever your competitor is? It's just like a job interview. The easiest way to do this is, again, invest in your knowledge. And this was our team's call scripts for the last month. So this is exactly what we worked on every single day, and I'll walk you through it. I would advise, if you have a free 15 minutes a day where you want to win your next listing appointment or buyer appointment, if you spend 15 minutes a day over the next month, you will win at least one more deal this year than you would have won without it. It's really, really simple. All you need to do is just differentiate yourself a little bit from the competitor. And again, this is why we built this out. This is why we spent a month on the script. And we may even put Paige on the spot on one of the script practices. So at the top of the market, what most people want to know is, I hear all this horrible stuff in the news, right? It's the market's horrible. Interest rates are horrible. Where are we? It's really important to remember that we're still in a seller's market. If you go back to look at 2016, 2017, we're still running very, very good numbers. And so at the top, you see this little speedometer here, but I think it's very helpful, especially for buyers who are considering renting. And I would bet that at least half of you in the room have had a conversation where somebody's like, oh, I think I'm just going to rent because I'm worried about now being the right time to buy, because they're bombarded by all this stuff. The advantage of you being the local economist of choice is that you're able to navigate them through what this means for Houston or for the specific neighborhood where you're working, and give them a sense. Sometimes it's talking them off the ledge, and sometimes it's giving them a sense of perspective on what makes a good decision for them. And so at the top, and again, if you memorize nothing more than the quick summary, is that it takes about 70 days to sell a home in Houston. Prices are up about 5% over the last year. And the number of pending sales and the number of sales are down about a third compared to where we were last year. And when you're in the meetings, again, the things that we always love is help me predict the future. Because most of the time, if you're calling past clients or calling prospects and you say, would you like to know the future? Why, yes, I would. I would be very interested to know the future. And as Paige had mentioned, the number one predictor of future closings are pending sales. If we look at pending sales, and again, this data is updated daily. You see that pending sales, this is trailing weeks, and again, you can go here, work off the call script. That's the trailing week through yesterday. Colors are this year, last year, and the year before. I'm gonna
So the 2 years that the real estate gods gave us and the normal market.
And what's so interesting about that, and again, you probably say is, hey, by the way, I know you're looking to be a buyer. Have you looked on HAR? Why, yes, I have. Have you read what HAR just published? Why, yes, I did. Well, do you know that the HAR report comes out for sales from last month? Okay, well, that makes sense. That's the pending data that came out from October and November. So if I can tell you that this week, pending sales are down 34% compared to this week last year, I can tell you what HAR's going to report in February.
That matters.
That's interesting. I can predict the future of what HAR's going to report because you're watching the data. Stands you out again a little bit more from realtors. We're going to get into patient script practice in a second on the days on market. Oh, I see that she's really excited to do script practice with us. Then when you say is, okay, I can predict the future in terms of what's going to come on HAR reports for sales. Would you also like to know what future prices are going to do? Well, yes, I would like to know. Am I going to start getting 20% off the house next month as a buyer? Because I think I can just wait a month for 20% off, and we're going to get to this. Or am I going to list and be like, you know, I think prices are going to come up in about a year from now, so I'm happy to rent for a year. Well, let me show you. So on days on market, really interesting because days on market are the number one indicator of future price reductions. So when you look at that and you say, this is the yellow line is 2022, so that's last year. And you say on average, days on market are up about 50%. Okay. And here's another fun way to play with this. Say is by when would you love to move from your house? Well, you know, I'd like to be in a new school district. And so I'd really love to be situated by June or July. Okay. Do you have to sell before you buy? Yep, I do. Okay. So what do you think your time is? Oh, you know, I could probably wait till the spring. We said, now I show you something. Right now, it takes about 70 days to sell a house. Probably under contract for about 30 days. Also, because you all are great realtors, you're going to do a lot of staging and decorations and photos and video tours and Matterports, probably about another 30 days. So if you want to sell by June, I want to get over to your house on Saturday so we can get ready to go. Because you're able to walk back, drive a level of urgency, and combat the, oh, yeah, if I want to sell by the summer, sure, I can wait. No, we've got 120 to 150 days to back that out. And you know what that means is, that's going to be right now and sign a listing agreement. When you go through and you look at price reductions and you see price reductions, the blue line, about double what the price reductions have been at any point in the last 2 years. Again, you go back and say, one of our favorite conversations right now is, oh, you know, I just don't think it's the right time to pay. Your mortgage rates are really high. I think I'm just going to rent. Okay, that's great. You know, do you really want to be a renter or do you really want to own? It's the life you want to live. You know, I really don't like renting and I really don't like living in a condo, but I just don't think I have an alternative. Well, may I share some data with you? Well, sure, please. Do you know that right now there's more price reductions, aka more deals, by double than at any point in the last 2 years? So your friend that got a house 2 years ago, you are now twice as likely to get a deal on that house. Can I show you a little bit more about what that looks like? Huh, I didn't know that. Because you're putting them in a position where they can be smart and you're using data to do it. And so you're giving yourself an opportunity to stand out from the crowd. And again, this is live data. It's updated daily. You're welcome to go to our website. You're welcome to use it on any conversation. The next thing that we see, and this is one of my favorite graphs, and this, I can't take all the credit. This was a collaborative effort with 4 of the top 30 teams across the nation, and it came out from what Gary Keller had talked about in his most recent CEO Mastermind. And it is how to be able to explain a shifting market. And I know when you look at this, it's going to look a little bit complicated, but I think it tells a phenomenal story over the last year. And so when you look through, you'll see last year in yellow, year before, year before, year before. And what, again, a lot of buyers are saying right now is I'm freaked out. I don't want to do anything. And so you're trying to help them put it in context. And for a lot of sellers. And so what's fascinating is, again, if you look at the yellow line here in Q1 of the first 3 months of the year, January, February, March, it was the best real estate market in history. The yellow line is above all the other lines. And so, as we all knew, the real estate market was on fire. I'm sure everybody here was very, very busy. And so you had Q1, phenomenal on sales volume. In Q2, April, May, June, what you'll see is that the yellow line is a little bit below the red line. So 2022 in Q2 was a little bit worse than 2021, but it was also on track for our second best year ever. Great market. In Q3, July, August, September, you'll see that the yellow line is actually below both of those and about on par with 2019. And then in October, November, December, you see we were below both and we were back on track for about a 2018 or a little less than a 2018 pace. Like if you have a seller who waited from Q1 to Q4, you gave up approximately 4 years of market frenzy. Put that in context. If you waited 6 months to 9 months, you gave up 4 years of market frenzy. Oh my gosh. Well, what do I do? And why? Why would that happen? Well, I'm so glad you asked. It's talking, it's thinking. And what you see here are home prices. And the red line are your mortgage interest rates per month. And so what you see in 2022 is that the Fed raised rates at the largest increase in history for the last 40 years. Why? Because they're trying to tame inflation, right? You go to the grocery store, gallon of milk, more expensive. Eggs, expensive. And so the Fed, the government does what they always do is they come in and they try to crush it. And they say, oh, we're going to raise rates and we're going to slow everything down. And so you can show to your clients, hey, see this line and see how fast it goes up? That's why things change so much. But again, local economist of choice to Paige's comment, phase 1, volume declines, prices go up. Prices are up. Phase 2, volume declines, prices stabilize. Here's what's the most fascinating thing for us when we look at the last 3 months of data. You see these lines? They're flat. When else in the last 5 years in Q4 have you seen any of these items where they're flat? They're not. First time in the last 5 years for 3 consecutive months, prices are flat. Because, right, you go back to 2018, prices go up, prices go up, prices go up. So if you're a seller and you know there's 3 phases and we just entered phase 2, what do you need to do? You need to list now before prices go down. Okay, so you're able to use the data and have the conversation. And they're like, well, you know, I expect prices to come back up in maybe a year. Oh, you think so? May I show you something? Houston annual home prices with mortgage rates. So the last time that Houston had a dip in prices, it took not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It took 6 years on average for prices to recover. Here, this is really interesting data. And so again, from all of this, to be investing in your knowledge, it will separate you from your competitor when you go and interview for that job, a listing agent or a buyer's agent. This process and this script, it's going to take you maybe 15 minutes a day to learn over the course of a month. We're happy to share it because we got it from some of the top mastermind teams in the world from Keller Williams. And at any point you want to use it, you just go to HoustonProperties.com and you click on the trends report and you are welcome to go through and use it.